I don't know, I want the blanket. It's strange, isn't it? It's like my video shoot blanket. It's like specific clothes that you wear for specific occasions. And you say, this blanket! What? This blanket has to be there when I shoot. Shoot straight for the goal. So that's also something interesting now. Like, why am I here? Like, not on this planet, but why am I here right now, this location? It's all the time now the same location. This is where this rabbit and Bambi thing is. And this is where I just was. And this is where I was before that. And, you know, making the most out of a place. How well do you know the city that you live in? When I was in Amsterdam, I realized that in a very short period of time, I got to know more places than the people that I met there. Because I just spent hours walking around in that kind of area and making experiences, but also just checking out places. This is where I got the jacket, you know. The person I was staying with at the time, he didn't even know the place. Because he never took the time. Because of course he was also really busy working. But, I mean, yeah, you can work a lot, but you should also get out. I mean, why do you live in a great city like Amsterdam, which I still believe is really great, and, you know, I'm excited to go back there one day. But why do you go back there if you don't take the time to experience it? Because a city is like a jungle, and there's so much to see, and especially Amsterdam has a lot of great parks, which will help you, you know, to chill a bit, because cities are also really strenuous in terms of energies and input. So, you know, you need to come into nature to get rid of that a bit. Where there's less vibrations, less kind of different frequencies hammering you, like less radio waves and phones and stuff and electronics and, you know, sounds like and smells and just energies, right? You always have to realize that there's a lot of energies. A person walks around there and he's swearing, fucking hell, right? It's just like energy floating around. And if you've ever read Terry Pratchett, I think it's in maybe The Color of Magic, I'm not quite sure. In one of these books, you know, I think the Arch-Chancellor, he is always the one who's swearing. And suddenly there's like, the words form into some kind of animals and start like hovering over them. So that's how you can see it if people are swearing a lot. But it's also, you know, you can say, oh, fucking hell, right? That's different. Because I don't say, right? I'm not in this kind of hateful energy. But if you really like deep in a depression, or you go into like a crack house, or maybe for prostitutes or something, right? It's like really bad energies. And of course then, you know, if they swear or not, because swearing, it's just a word. I mean, if you say fuck, or cunt, or twat, you know, it's just words. But it's the energy you say it with. And some people, you know, they could say love at you, and they could spit it right into your face. And you know, that's just being conscious, of course, about the way you talk. But what I wanted to say is that, you know, just in nature in general, you know, a lot of that energy that you pick up, it just dissipates. Because the wind comes and like there's trees, and they charge you up. And of course then the sound of the birds, even though I hear the city and I see buildings, it's different. It's different vibes. It's like, you know, the trees are all the time praying. This is similar to when you are in a room where people really pray. Sometimes where you do ceremonies it feels like this, like a holy place. And that's what nature is. It's a holy place. This is basically, truth. There's nothing lying to you here. It's just trees. And trees are trees, they don't pretend to be something else. And in cities you have people that are evil and they pretend to be good. And I once had this, for example, in Sharm el-Sheikh, because we went to Jordan via ferry to Aqaba, and the ferry left in Sharm el-Sheikh, and to me it was one of the worst cities I've ever been to, because they just feast off tourists like, gulps of your sandwich or something. And like ants on the rotten flesh of, a wildebeest. Or vultures. Yeah, maybe that. Some more like crocodiles, maybe. Anyway, and we were walking there with 3 people, and then this guy came, and he was like, why don't you have a look at my perfumes? But he didn't say like that. He said, come for a drink, come for a tea. But he probably did mention the perfumes, and then we go in there with him, and then he gives us tea, and he tries bringing these perfumes. He just wanted that we buy something. And I tried saying to him several times already that we don't want to buy anything. And then at one point I said, no matter what you're going to say, we are not going to buy anything. And then he said, out. Suddenly, it's just like that. We weren't even allowed to finish the tea anymore. But now imagine how many tourists go in there and they just let themselves be pressured to buy something. And that I didn't even know back then that I had any kind of courage. I just felt miserable about myself. I was really insecure. But in that moment, I just stood up and said, we're never going to buy anything here. Do you hear that? Because he didn't accept the no. And, these people you meet in cities, of course, and sometimes it may take you a while until you realize that they're actually a wolf pretending to be like some kind of sheep or fairy or, something nice, like something cuddly, and then suddenly it's like, I want your flesh, I want your energy. Yeah. So, of course you have a lot of that in cities, and in nature you just don't have it. But what I was going on about, it's gonna come to you! Eventually tomorrow, I don't know which videos I already planned.